Hi everyone, I hope you're all doing well and you're all coping with this rather long period at home. I hope you're keeping fit and healthy, and I'm just going to give you a few more tips on things that you can do at home. So we're going to focus on our neck and shoulders today. You can do the first lot of exercises sitting down in something nice and comfy. And those of you that saw my first video will be pleased to know that I have finished recovering and reupholstering my stool, so it looks a little bit neater and a bit tidier now than it did beforehand. So when it comes to the neck, a lot of people have a lot of stiffness. You might hear lots of crunching and clicking in your neck when you're moving it around. That's fine, that's completely normal. We all have quite creaky necks. Hopefully if you do some neck exercises regularly, that will reduce. But it doesn't necessarily go away if my neck still clicks and cracks all the time and crunches when I'm moving around. A lot of it is related to our posture. So when we are sitting at a desk and we are doing that, that brings all of the joints in the back of our neck close together. And so all these little joints at the back of the spine, if our neck is overextended, they will come much closer together. And so there's just a bit more chance of them things rubbing and catching. So that's why it's really good to just try and maintain a nice long neck, not let yourself drop too much into that kind of over flexed position. So you can see how squashed the top of the neck can get. And this area up top here, very top of the neck, that's where a lot of people's tension headaches come from. These little tiny muscles that do fine control of our neck and head movement. And they also help us to orientate our eyes to look at objects. They can get really tight and they can cause lots of problems. Tension to the front of the head, all around. Those sort of tension headaches that you get could well be coming from there. That's not a guarantee. If you're getting headaches, you should always get them checked out, especially if there's something unusual for you. But hopefully some of these exercises might help you get rid of some of your headaches or neck and shoulder tension as well. So I'm going to sit up nice and straight. We're just going to go off to one side. Just going to roll around to the front. And take it nice and slowly. Just see what you feel, where you get tension, whether it's in the neck, whether it's in the shoulder. Could be higher up into the face and the neck and the jaw. Back to the other side. Some of these exercises we've done in previous videos, but there's no harm in repeating them because they're all useful exercises. Wait for as you go a few times side to side. Really push that chin down into the chest. You'll just get a little bit easier with each movement and maybe a little less clicky as well. Okay, we're just going to go side to side. We're also just going to take our hands out to the side. So we're just going to drop one shoulder down and we're going to take the neck away. Just really slightly, so it just strengthens the stretch a little bit. So I can feel a little bit into the top of my shoulder and a little bit into my neck as well. And go the opposite way, so drop that shoulder down, reach the hand down, as if you're trying to reach down to pick something up, and then take the neck to the side. Just that active action of pushing the hand down really helps to increase the stretch. So push down and then take the neck away. And the other side again. Push down with that hand. And then back up. So we're going to take our neck side to side. So we're going to look over one shoulder and the other. So just see how that feels. You're going to make sure you're sitting up nice and tall. You can kind of see if I sit up tall, I can keep my head stacked over my shoulders. If I'm doing that, it's actually quite uncomfortable if I'm slouched forward. So really try and pull yourself back. So what we're going to do is, to start with, you're going to keep your eyes focused on the front and you're going to rotate your head. So you won't get that far, or you might do, depending on how good your eyesight is. But so we keep our head to the front and you go as far as you, eyes to the front, sorry, go as far as you can. And the opposite way. So you're just working on that peripheral vision. You might get to the point where you're just seeing double, because you're working your eyes really hard at the edge of their vision. You'll probably be able to see the shadow of your nose as well. And then we're going to go and we're going to take our eyes with our head, so keeping our eyes in line. Okay, then we're going to stretch the muscles that come down the front of the neck, so the ones that work really hard when we're sitting at a desk with bad posture, with our chin poked forward. So we're going to put the edge, the border of our finger over the top of the collarbone, so into that little hollow that you have above your collarbone. Just going to press down slightly. So finger in and then take the head away to the opposite side. Just get that really strong stretch in these scalene muscles. Then come back and just put the finger in again. You can do it a few times. I can really feel this one going up into my head and across the top here as well. I'm going to do that once more. I'm going to do the opposite side. So border of the finger, edge of the hand, into that hollow above your collarbone. Press down lightly and then take the neck away. You might find a little bit of rotation, or looking over the shoulder might give you a bit more of a stretch. And when you get to the end of each stretch, sometimes you'll find that actually moving your eyes in the opposite direction actually helps as well. So if you're looking straight ahead whilst you're doing this stretch, try looking, so I'm stretching my left side, so I'm going to try and look without moving my head any further over my right shoulder, and I just get a slightly stronger stretch. So doing that a couple of times, press down lightly. And if you want to, just use your eyes to give you a slightly stronger stretch. Okay, so now we've started working on this, we're just going to shrug our shoulders up and then push them down as far as we can. Shrug up, push down, shrug up and push down. Okay, this is one that we did in the previous video as well. So we're going to take one hand behind us. Just going to hold onto that wrist. So I'm holding onto my right wrist. And I'm going to take my head to the left. So just putting down lightly on this right wrist and taking the head to the side. So as you're doing this, try not to let the chin poke forwards. Try and keep it pulled in. And we'll just do the other side. So you can repeat that a few times on each side. And for all the exercises, an average guide of how long to hold them for is 10 to 15 seconds. Depending on how strong the stretch is and how much you like the stretch, you can hold them for a bit longer or a bit shorter. And 2 or 3 repetitions on each side is normally sufficient. But if you find the stretch is really useful and you're finding it's really beneficial, you can go up to sort of 5 stretches on each side. Some of the muscles need a slightly longer, so quite often these muscles down the front here, which are quite thin, sinewy muscles, they need a slightly longer stretch, so you might want to hold those for 20 to 25 seconds. Okay, right, another one that we've done before is our pectoral muscle stretch. So we're going to do this in a corner of a room. Just checking you can still see me because my computer screen had gone off. Right, so forearms up flat against the wall. I'm just going to drop our whole body into the corner. Take a couple of deep breaths. This is one you can do in a doorway as well. We're going to put our arms up a little bit higher, so our elbows are above shoulder height, and do the same thing. And you can have your arms a little bit lower as well. As I probably said before, that is one of my favourite stretches. No one realises quite how much tension they hold across here, particularly if you've been hunched and sat over a desk. So you can do this on one arm at a time if you haven't got a corner, or if you find that both at the same time is a bit too strong, you can put one arm up against the wall and literally just push that shoulder forwards. So you can push that forearm flat against the wall and push the shoulder forwards. Again, use your breathing, so breathe in and out as you're doing the stretch. And each time you breathe out, just try and drop a little bit deeper into the stretch that you're doing. So then you can take that one step further, you can stretch the whole of the front of the arm. So you can put your hand flat against a wall or a door. Let's get the right spot. And push your shoulder forward again. So actually using our whole body to stretch the front of the shoulder and stretch down the arm. You might find you get like a nerve sort of sensation or a little bit of a tingle into the fingers. That's normal. A lot of people do have a lot of tension in the nerves as well. We don't really think about nerves as having tension, but they can get tense in the same way as muscles. So you can just kind of take your arm out to the side and just do taking the hand backwards and forwards without any pressure on it, and then holding the hand there and rotating the head or taking it to the side. So you're just trying to use your nerve and stretching it a bit like a muscle as well. So you do that on both sides. So you've got the stretch for the front of the arm. I've got quite mobile shoulders, so you might find that yours are a lot stiffer than mine. You can do the same on this side where you flex the wrist back a few times. So try not to let your shoulder hitch up when you do this. Keep it down. And you take the neck off to the side. If you find that's a bit too strong, what you can do is as you take your neck to the side, you straighten your wrist. As you bring your neck back up, you take your hand back and flex it. It's a bit of an extra one for you there. A bit of a nerve stretch and glide. Okay, sitting back down again. We're just going to cross our arms and put our hands on our shoulders. We're just going to go to one side and to the other side. A bit like when we did the neck rotations, we can keep the heads at the front. So moving the chest and upper back, side to side. And then we can take the whole head with the body, which you find you should get a little bit further when you're moving the spine as a whole. And if you want to cross one leg over and go side to side. And cross the other leg over. You can then also use whatever you're sitting on, so you can, if you've got a back to your chair, you can use that. So you're going to take one hand behind you, put the other hand on the outside of the leg, then use the chair and your leg to just push yourself round. So you're using yourself and the chair for a bit of leverage. Just spotted the fact that I've managed to put some marks from the Swiss ball on the wall when I was doing my Swiss ball video the other day. Right, so the next one, we're going to completely cross our arms. We're going to give ourselves a bit of a hug, sitting up nice and tall. So what you're going to imagine is that in between your two elbows, you've got a pencil. And what we want to do with that pencil is draw a figure of 8. So we want to do it without moving our head too much. So our head's going to stay fairly still, and we're just going to go. So we're going to do an up and down figure of 8. It's a bit of a dance, this one. So we're trying to keep our head fairly still and don't forget to change direction. So you're imagining that that pencil is going right the way through into the middle of your back. And that's the bit of your back that's doing the most movement. And then we can do a figure of 8 side to side. So you're trying to keep your elbows hugged against you. You don't want your arms flapping around too much. And again, don't forget to change direction. And you might find you start to feel a little bit of an ache in the middle of your back after doing that a few times. You can also do that sitting on the Swiss ball if you've got one as well. So the next one we're going to do against the wall. So what you're going to do is just try and keep your shoulder blades against the wall as you reach your arm up. But you're also going to try and put your hand, just turn the light on, see if that doesn't make it a lot brighter, does it really? So what you're going to do, you're going to put your hand on your shoulder, and you're going to reach your hand to the side, and you're going to slide it up the wall. If your shoulder starts to lift, so you're getting pressure into this top hand, then you've gone too far. So we're trying to reach up as high as we can without that shoulder hitching up. And try on both sides. Not much better on my left than now on my right. Do that a few times. So we're working on strength and control of the shoulder. So we're trying to keep that shoulder blade pressed against the door or the wall. And eventually what you should be able to do is do that without having to put your hand on top of your shoulders. Yeah, hopefully you'll realise when that shrugging movement is happening. And you can also do it with a straight arm. So we're just making it a little bit harder by having a straight arm. And then we're going to go overhead. So what you're going to do is walk your hands up the wall. So a little bit away from the wall, maybe about a foot away from the wall, and reach up as high as you can. And just let yourself drift in towards the wall to get a bit of a stretch. You can do this without the wall, just reach straight over your head. And another way that you can do this is using a broomstick or something. So I'm just going to adjust my camera slightly because these are going to be standing up exercises. So a broomstick or whatever you've got to hand that you can use to do a bit of extra work. So this one, I'm just going to put it on top of my shoulders and rest my hands over it. And all you're going to do to start with is just twist. And you can put that in the middle of your back. And do the same thing. And you can put it down by your waist and do the same thing as well. And you can put it over your head. And almost try to pull your hands apart at the same time. So pull your hands apart and then go off to the side. So you're trying to push the bar up and pull apart. And then the other thing that you can do, you might want a slightly longer stick for this one. It's a good stretch in front of the shoulders. We use it for our javelin throwers. So, or you can put your stick up on top of something, up on top of your chair. You're going to put both hands up and just hang forwards. And then change hands. Or you can try it with one arm. We're going to put our feet apart and put your hand up to the top of whatever stick you're holding. And we're just going to drop down and try and reach the other hand towards the floor. You can take your head to look at either hand. Just do the other side. Reach up. Then drop the other hand towards the floor. So you're getting quite a strong stretch. You're almost pulling down on this top hand to the front of the shoulder. There are lots and lots of exercises you can do with a stick, but we're not going to do too many today because we want to keep it fairly basic. And we're going to do one more exercise for the neck. This is, again, a very commonly prescribed exercise for my clients. And this is to try and help you out from sitting like this, trying to learn to stack yourself or stack your spine into a good position. So what you're going to do, you're going to put the base of your thumb on the top of your chest bone, and you're going to stick your finger up so it's touching the front of your chin. And then what we're trying to do is tuck our chin in and put our chin back and away. So we're doing that, giving yourself a nice double chin. So we're trying to lengthen the back of the neck and strengthen it at the same time. So you should feel it in the back of the neck and maybe into the back of the head as well. Hold it for a couple of seconds and then relax. So the common mistakes that a lot of people make are that they do that, and obviously you're extending your spine, or they do that and just nod their head forward. So what you've got to do is tuck your chin and try and put it straight back. Now the other way that you could do it is to put something behind your head, so sitting in a chair, and push straight back against it. Just so you get the idea of the movement that you're meant to be doing. But just try and imagine you're lengthening the back of the neck as you're doing it. So really trying to encourage those muscles to lengthen and strengthen, just to help support the weight of this heavy old head that we have. Because all the time that you're doing that, your body is spending an awful lot of time trying to stop you from falling over, because your head is that heavy that it's trying to pull you forwards. So the more it's stacked over your shoulders and the rest of your back, the less strain you put down through the whole of your back. And sometimes bad neck posture can be a contributing factor in low back pain, hamstring problems, foot and ankle problems. It can have a knock-on effect anywhere in the body. So have a go with those exercises. Let us know how you get on. And if there's anything else that you want us to help you with, then please let us know. Alright, take care everyone. Bye.